Hello, and welcome to Wannabe. Today's guest is Shaina West, a stunt actor, martial artist, and real-life warrior. After surviving a motorcycle accident, Shaina channeled her resilience to become the Samurider, teaching herself martial arts and landing her first role in Marvel's Black Widow. She's breaking stereotypes and paving the way for Black women in the industry. In this episode, we dive into Shaina's transformative journey, exploring her recovery, self-taught martial arts training, evolution in the industry, and thoughts on giving freely. From her darkest moments to shining on the big screen, Shaina's story is a powerful testament to determination. Let's get started. Who did you want to be before you became who you are today, and why?
Who did I want to be? The most obvious answer that jumps out to me is I've always wanted to be a hero, especially when I started getting into acting, getting into martial arts, getting into stunts. It was because I was inspired by the idea of heroes. And I really used to love, and I still do, like action heroes, superheroes, video game heroes, to TV heroes, movie heroes, and most of all, anime heroes. I really love anime. That whole genre completely inspired my whole screen persona. So yeah, and I feel like to embody whatever the essence of a hero is lays out all the qualities of the kind of person I wanted to be as well. Someone who's confident, someone who's generous, someone who's courageous, and not just fearless. Fearless is cool, but to be brave in face of fears.
I think there's something really beautiful about what you said about what a hero is, and it wasn't just about the bravery. It's about the confidence. It's about, I guess, also the selflessness. Just listing all of these amazing qualities that I don't know that people often just automatically jump to, what actually makes someone a hero? What are all of the components or the traits that really makes that person? And I think being free also ties into it. I feel like you've kind of, it feels like a natural progression.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like a massive disconnect to be I just want to be free and I can express myself. And actually that expression has become what it is today, which is insane. With the journey, the hero's journey, you have a pretty solid origin story as to how you got into this work. I'm sure you're probably sick of talking about it, but it just feels like such a moment. Could you talk to us about the car accident that kind of steered you into this work?
So yeah, when I was 19, I had this motorbike accident, and it was pretty bad. I was hit by a van, and so I had broken my neck, I fractured my neck, and I broke my hand as well, my right hand. It was really bad. I actually hit my head so hard that I don't have any memory of the accident, but I can tell you what the report said. So yeah, that happened. I kind of flew 20 feet in the air, landed on my face, and that's how I ended up breaking my neck. And so during my recovery, it was a pretty low time. It was actually my lowest point, my actual rock bottom, because that had happened. I lost my really cool bike. I couldn't work, so I lost my job, which was contracted, and my partner just left me at the time, and it was not going good for me. So I had a lot of time just doing nothing, kind of just feeling sorry for myself, and in bed watching a lot of movies and anime, and just binge watching these shows to kind of keep me getting through the days. But I was watching a lot of superhero stuff. So we're talking anime, which I really love, which is Japanese animation, which is it's really vibrant and eccentric, and these cool action heroes that have this almost expectant journey where they face adversity over and over again, and then they get super strong and overcome it. But you get to see them at their lowest points facing these struggles, and it's how are they going to make it out? And it's just they just don't give up. That's how they turn the tides. And watching action movies with the similar protagonists and stuff, and when you watch anything for long enough, you kind of get influenced by it. You watch Step Up, where you got shoved for the first time, and then you start trying these moves you didn't even know you could try, or anything. You get inspired by cinema. They're so good at it. Yeah, I was massively inspired by these heroes, by these people that were overcoming their adversity and not just winning, but being deeply changed, and they're developing themselves and what they're standing for and stuff. Yeah, it was really overwhelming, and it was exactly what I needed to see at the time. And so I was okay, I'm going to go to the gym. and I still had my cast on, and I still had a screw poking out of like one of my phalanges or whatever.
Oh
But I was like, it's cool. I could just train legs in the meantime and do core and stuff. So I was just training and getting my strength back. And then about a year after that, I mean, by then I had gone onto YouTube and I was like, let me watch some martial artists. And I was watching animes, but mostly like martial artists in competitions and watching their forms. And just used to type in like the most basic moves and stuff, and then watching the pros and slowing down their videos and trying to learn what they were doing myself. Actually, I should mention before that, when I was still in my bed, before I even was really getting up and going to the gym, I just looked up like weapons videos on YouTube, and then I got like these little knives from my kitchen, and I taped a shoebox to the end of my room, like opposite my bed, probably like 7 feet or something. And then I would practice like throwing it into the shoebox and like,
oh my God.
Yeah, but just like knife throwing. It was just like a really cool thing. I was like, this is what the ninjas do. This is going to get me started. And I was really proud of myself for that. But one day, you know, I got pretty good at it. So there were like a lot of holes in the box where I'd left it. And I kind of like threw it, and then I went off to the gym or whatever. And my mum must have come into my room to like, she's mum. And she's seen the box taped to the wall with like 100 stab wounds in it and a knife. And she completely lost me. She was like, that's it, Shaina, they've taken her to the wind, I don't know. And she actually told my doctor about it, and like they set up a cute little intervention. And I was like, no, guys, I'm fine. Like I just looking at like martial arts, it's like ninja inspired stuff, and it's really cool. And here's me thinking that's going to make it better, but I've got West African parents, so that made it a lot worse naturally.
Yeah.
But now they really love it. Now they really love what I do, and they're super proud, and they see where I was going with it. So yeah, I learned off of YouTube. I learned off of kind of taught myself martial arts, and I would just train every day. I found a gym in Brixton full of like creative randoms with all kinds of talents as well. And then that kind of became my home base. And I would go there every day by myself with like my curtain pole or my broomstick, because I didn't have actual weapons at the time. So yeah, I was using a metal curtain pole for a long time, and then whatever, like scaffolding, piping and stuff. And I just practiced every day. I then made an Instagram for myself because it was like my diary of my training, and I would put videos on there, and it wasn't that good at the time, but I was putting them up. And then like 2 years after I started, one of my videos finally went viral. I just got loads of followers who came to my page and saw me training with like weapons and teaching myself. And that's when I got my first wave of supporters. And that's where the idea to break into film really came from, because people were being so nice and being like, wow, you could do movies. We'd love to see you in a movie. And I thought about it, and I was just like, you know what, that would be really cool. So yeah, I just kept training and posting videos online of my progress. And little did I know, I had like directors starting to follow me, producers following me, and I didn't know, but they were just watching. Yeah, because it wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 years later that some of them started to reach out. Like James Bamford reached out, and he was like, look, I've been following you for a couple of years, and I have a script that's going to be perfect for you. It was written for a guy, but I think it'd be perfect for you.
Oh, wow.
And then I did that. So that's Jade, my first movie, first leading role, coming out very soon. And then similar to, thank you so much, thank you, The Woman King as well, because they saw me on the internet. Viola posted my video, and Ava DuVernay tweeted my video, and it all came together. So it's crazy because I never planned to do any of this. It happened. If that motorbike accident, and all those things that happened at the time, although it was like the darkest, wisest happening to me, worst part of my life, it felt like at the time, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Because without that, I probably would still be just selling computers somewhere, which is fine. It's a good job. I made a lot of money, and but I found my passion through like my darkest moment. So yeah, it just kind of all fell together. It's like a movie.
It really is. Thank you so much for sharing that. I massively appreciate it, and that is a tremendous testament to your strength to like go through something so traumatic, so painful, and then you've come out of this situation, and actually, yes, there was like this really, really black and dark period, but then you're like, I'm going to be strong. Like, strength is like, you've taken strength to like the extremes.
It's crazy. I remember, so it happened like just as I was turning 20, and then a year later when I decided I'm going to do martial arts. I don't know why, but it's going to make me happy. I got a tattoo on my 21st birthday, And it's a symbol that's from the anime that I was like binge watching at the time of the accident, and the one that pulled me out of that dark place. So it's a symbol, and it's like right here in my solar plexus. And I basically made 3 promises to myself. And the first one is to be strong, strength, spiritually, emotionally, emotionally, mentally, physically, just to choose to be strong all the time, because you can. And then that's not saying not to be vulnerable as well. I don't want people to misconstrue that. Vulnerability is strength, softness is strength, malleability is strength, to be water, like Bruce Lee said, but to be strong, because you do have the power within you to do anything. The second promise was to do what I love with my life, because I realized you can, and I've always been like a rebel, and I've never liked conforming to the status quo. Like as a kid, I was smart, but I was always getting in trouble and stuff. So just, to do what you want with your life, do what you love, and it will always pay off. Like life will reward you greatly for following your passion. And the third promise is to fight for what I believe in. Always, for myself. Although my moral compass may change, I'm open. Like my beliefs may change depending on how life plays out. But stand up for what you believe in. Do live your truth and know your truth, and live in constant awareness of that truth every day. So that's what that final promise means.
You've been training yourself. People are noticing. It's picking up attention, and you're kind of being asked to do jobs. How was your first job? Were you scared? Did you mess up? Like, what was the experience like?
So I would say the first actual job that I got to do like stunt acting in was Black Widow.
What? Sorry.
Yeah. Marvel's Black Widow. Honestly, dream come true. And that's when I realized I could do anything.
Shaina, sorry. Let's just pull up. Let's roll back a second. Your first job was the Marvel movie Black Widow. So, what? Okay.
So there's a cool backstory to this too. So in, I think, 2014, I was invited by the British Film Institute to do like a talk, which I thought was an interview. So I was totally unprepared. So like 5 minutes before I go on, and they were like, yeah, so just talk for like 15 minutes, like you want your journey. I was like, okay. So I just went up there and I just spoke from the heart. At the end of it, I was just like, I was super, super green. I hadn't really done anything, but I was on the come up, and I was gaining a following, and I was getting good. I was actually getting good. And I said to everyone, look, one day you're going to see me in a Marvel film. And I'm not saying that because, I've got the contract. I'm saying that because I really want that to happen. And I believe it's going to happen. And so I'll do what I need to do, to make it happen. And then, 4 months later, I got the casting, and I casted for it. And then, I got in as Widow 1. And it was like honestly a dream come true. So for me, I was just like, I manifested this. Maybe this path is really for me. And it was the best job. Would I say did I mess it up? No, I wasn't given the opportunity, luckily, to do that. Yeah, because we were still super green, and they were like, they were nervous. They were like, we know you're good at what you do and stuff, and they really wanted to put me in like a sword fight and stuff. But I was very fresh, and I'm working with the Scarlett Johansson, and she's super famous. And so if I did make a mistake and she got hurt, everyone would lose their job. So we're like, I'm not going to risk that, but you can do some of this really cool other actiony stuff. It was great. Fortunately for me, I didn't mess it up.
I actually think like when you know what you want and you're so clear on it, you putting it out there and putting it to the right kind of people in the room make moves on your behalf. Like you never know who's talking about you when you're not in the room. And it sounds like you said what you needed to say, and there it was. That's a very sick introduction. I'm so glad you didn't mess it up. Fast forward to now, like to today. Mm-hmm. You've booked loads and loads of jobs, obviously, and you're constantly working on your craft. You're constantly practicing. You're always kind of sharpening your skills. Pun unintended, but also intended.
Very nice. Yeah.
Like, what's keeping the motivation alive? Like, compared to where you were and where you are now, like, how has good changed for you? Like, what does that look like, and how has it changed?
I remember one of my very first goals was to just be good. Like I would watch these people on YouTube and like martial arts in like films, and they would move in ways and do things with weapons and sticks, and they were so good. And I was like, they're so fast, they're so accurate. how long, I'll give myself 5 years to be able to move like that or whatever. And I got there in less, but it's because I really trained, you know. That's why when some people say, how long will it take me to reach that point? Or how long did it take you? It's like, there is no time frame. It's irrelevant. You just got to do it, practice it as much as you can, as much as you're passionately allowed to do. What are my goals? You know, be in a movie, I guess, not starring something, but acting something work. And then that happened. And then it was like, okay, I want to do like a Black Panther type film, something big, you know. I mean, it was the Marvel movie that happened. I want to be in Black Panther. I really want to be in Black Panther, or subconsciously something, you know, similar or better for me. Somewhere where I could portray an African warrior because I'm African by heritage. And then the Woman King happened. And then it's like, okay, I really, really wanted to have a leading role. And then that happened. And then it's like...
You're like a master manifester. What the hell is this?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. But yeah, so it's like good hasn't changed. Good is just good, you know. And there are so many unexpected things as well. These are things that I know I wanted that have happened. But there are so many things that I didn't even know I wanted until I received them. And I was like, I needed this so much. I didn't even know. And they were just products of the journey. There's a saying that I heard from an anime, one of my favorite animes, that says, on the journey of life, you have to really enjoy the detours, because that's where you'll find the things more important to you than the things that you want, than the things that you wanted in the first place. I think the goals, the reason why you went on the journey. So yeah, good has just always been good. And what good looks like now is just being open. What keeps me motivated is knowing that no matter what is presented to me, because it's not always good. I mean, it doesn't always feel good, I should say, you know, but it's always good because it's always leading me to my highest good. I've already decided that I'm going to be successful. I'm going to have the fulfilling career of my dreams. I'm going to live a life of freedom and expression. You decide these things, and then life will unfold for you and just go through it. As long as you know, don't worry about how you're getting there, you'll get there. So that's what keeps me motivated.
I want to touch on the fact that you're a Black woman in this industry. And I think like as far back as 2019, which is actually not that long ago, you were making a distinction between stunt performance and stunt acting, and you would classify yourself as a stunt actor because like there was some elite level nonsense that required you to be on like a register for stunt performers. But at the time there was like only 2 Black women, and you were like one of 2 Black women in stunt work for the UK or something like that, out of 400. And you were talking about the fact that it's really male dominated. I wonder, in that time, I mean, obviously there was like this big thing that happened in the middle, but like, has that changed? Have you seen an evolution of, you know, like diversity and Black women and women of colour in particular entering the space more and more? Like, what's the progression been like in that department?
I remember definitely a few years ago, it was very like aware in my mind that of all 400 stunt performers in the UK, only 2 of them were Black women. As of now, I mean, I honestly don't know for the stunt register particularly. I can only imagine so, because since I've gotten into the industry, since I've trained in martial arts and put videos out there, like what I really love about my Instagram is it connects me to so many like-minded people that just have just taken an interest in the world. And I get a lot of messages, and I try my best to kind of just like see who's reaching out to me, who are the kind of people that like what I like. And so many Black women, so many that either have said to me, you've inspired me to start doing this thing that I thought was impossible to do at my age, or for my stature, or for my demographic, like, or whatever, or have said, you know, I did this as a kid and I'm going to get back into it and you've inspired me, or said that I have kids that I want my daughter to do this now. And it's like, I get so many messages like that, and it's such an overwhelmingly nice feeling. And but also I didn't know there were so many sisters out there that are either about it, want to be about it, have been about it, you know, and that's amazing. So just from have been given that visibility, been given that visibility to see from my platform, I would say for sure there are going to be more Black women doing action, want to do action, and, you know, taking an interest in doing action, considering the possibility. Yeah, it's amazing. And I feel like that's one of the most rewarding things about what I do as well. And definitely is one of the biggest motivations for doing it from way back. Because I just used to think, I've never seen a woman, like a Black woman, doing the things that I see my anime characters doing. I know they're cartoons, but I was like, it would be, how impactful would it be to have seen that growing up?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was like, I want to do that. I want to be the representation. So yeah, I would say definitely. I can't say that I've seen or like met and been like, yeah, I've got this wonderful lady signing on. I'm not sure, but I can feel it, like we're out there and definitely taking more of an interest. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely power in seeing is believing, and like, as we know, like, and for a lot of people, not all, obviously, because you need pioneers to like break the mold and like smash the ceilings, but often it, like, if you don't see it, you don't think you can be it. And I think you've definitely been someone that's been very, very visible. So it's not even remotely surprising to me at all that you've been an inspiration and a motivation for other people to get into this. And I can only hope that actually it has catalyzed like a group of young women to like really enter this industry and take it and have it as a career progression, and that actually that these opportunities continue to exist. Let's get on to your best and worst advice. What is the best advice you've ever received and the worst advice you've ever received?
Okay, so I really like quotes and books and stuff like that. Things stand out to me all the time. But I would say the best advice, just because I feel like it sums up a lot of the other advice, is to find what sparks the light in you, and then use that light to illuminate the world.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Because I feel like everyone has that, that spark in them. Everyone has a passion or an interest or a talent, something. It could be the most random thing. Mine was literally pretending to be an anime character. So it can be random. You don't have to, think it's like super valuable or whatever, but find it in you and then hone it and grow it and nurture it and then use that to give back to the world somehow, and that's that one line alone is like, it almost summarizes the motivation behind everything that I have done for the past few years. Maybe subconsciously my whole life.
I love that.
Worst advice? This one's hard because I probably can't retain things that aren't useful as much. But I feel like I do come across, especially in this day and age, a lot of advice that's kind of similar. That's really like, oh, you have to stay hard or protect yourself in a way where you won't. I think I remember once someone saying to me, like a slightly older family member who was really just looking out for me. They were just like, look, don't spend your money on other people. Don't spend money on guys, or don't like give too much to other people. Spend all of that on yourself. And then that will raise your value and other people will want you more. And although they weren't wrong, they weren't necessarily wrong, but it's not how I want to live my life. Like if I have enough to give, I want to give, even if someone is, if they just need something, sometimes you like to use each other and take people for granted. It happens. But knowing that I was able to help someone's life improve in a big or a small way, I think it's the real currency of this earth, not like money or anything. It's energy, it's intention and stuff, and to help each other. That's just what we're supposed to do.
Thank you so much, Shaina. This has actually been so wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me as well. It's been a really nice chat with you.
And that's a wrap. If you know someone that would benefit from the knowledge and wisdom shared in this episode, please do share it with them now. To keep up with Wanna Be, follow us along on your favourite podcast player or app, or follow at Content is Queen HQ on Instagram for the latest updates and episode releases. Until next time, bye.